Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I am Cage, and today I'm going to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 5. Guys, we're halfway through the season, I'm pretty sure, and so, there's going to be a variety of opinions about what we've seen so far. The last few episodes, while they are building, have been slow. Like, let's be honest, they've been a little slow. Yeah, sure, we're building for things to come. But in the meantime, not a whole bunch is actually happening. There are things happening, obviously. And what is happening is interesting. Um, so let's start. Spoiler warning, by the way, if you haven't watched it, I'm gonna spoil it. So season 3, episode 5, we will start with Alicent and Helena. They are still technically prisoners, and Alicent knows now that Helena is pregnant, and she's afraid of what Rhaenyra will do if she finds out. So she uses her prior relationship with the maester to have him bring some concoction that essentially aborts the baby. And Helena refuses to take it. She ain't gonna do it. She don't give a fuck what's going on. She just wants to live her life. She wants to get out of there. She wants to get, all this stuff. And so she doesn't take it. And then, what's her face? Whatever the fuck her name is. It's is it Misandra, fucking whatever her fucking name is. The white worm lady is all fucking coming through. Hey, I know what you're doing, okay, Alicent. And Alicent's like, oh yeah, this was actually for me. So I'm just gonna, go. So that's gone. And then later, obviously, they're trying to escape. Helena and Alicent, and Helena doesn't really want to go. She doesn't trust the whole thing, and all that stuff. And while they are about to try to escape, the White Worm lady finds them, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" And Alicent does her little thing, her little "I was the queen, I know how to manipulate people" kind of thing. And so part of that is like, she's like, well, you play both sides, you do what's advantageous for you, and you got to realize you're just, you might think you got this thing with Rhaenyra, but you might not have this thing with Rhaenyra the way you think you do. So she's playing on that a little bit. She's tying it up so that the White Worm lady does not go and spill the beans to Rhaenyra about Helena being pregnant. So obviously they leave it a little ambiguous, and their part of the story kind of ends when they discover this passage in the room, and they go through it, and then they realize it dead ends and they can't get back out. So who knows what's going to happen with them? There's one moment here that's a little foreshadowing for some stuff when Helena's like, "I want to see the moon," and Alicent says, the window will have to do. If you know, you know. I'm not going to spoil that stuff, but there's potential foreshadowing there. We also have Aemond Targaryen, the one-eyed prince, over in Harrenhal, where people are still trying to come find him and kill him because of the queen's bounty. Whoever delivers Aemond Targaryen or who kills him or whatever can have Harrenhal, which obviously pisses off Alice Rivers because she wants Harrenhal. She's been tending to Aemond, who's been having a bunch of fucking weird dreams, some about Aegon. And at a certain point in the episode, he does end up killing a bunch of other psychos who come to try to find him when they are trying to attack Alice Rivers. And so there's a lot of stuff going on there. A little bit like, where he talks about how he thinks Alicent loved Aegon more, which ironically is the same thing that Aegon said about Aemond, that Aegon thinks Alicent loved Aemond more. And Aegon is just bitching a lot in this episode, obviously, of course he is. And Larys calls him out on it, fully calls his bitch ass out, and says, hey, yo, you were given everything, you had every opportunity, and all you do is fucking squabble it, mate. You fucking complain, you fucking sit there talking about how you got fucking nothing in this world. You had every opportunity to fucking live up to your birthright, do what you need to do, and you're fucking squabbling, mate. Fucking pissing off. Fuck you. You're an awful man and an awful fucking king, and you deserve nothing. That's pretty much what he said. And then Aegon kind of comes around and he's like, all right, listen, let's get the fuck out of here. Call the fucking ship or whatever you're going to do because, Larys wants to take him to like Bravos or something to get the fuck out. And who should show up but Tywin fucking Lannister to try to save the day, offer them some kind of escape as well. All this shit. And while that's kind of happening, the leader of this little Rook's Rest area finds Aegon's crown. Aegon fucking just murks him. So that's their story. And then we've got Sir Criston Cole, the most useless fucking man in all the Seven Kingdoms. He's doing his thing. He's trying to stop the River Lords and the Northerners from reaching King's Landing. They're burning bridges, stopping the crossings, sneaking in at night and murdering a bunch of people. And then, little 12-year-old river landlord outsmarts them. They're going out through all the fucking bushes. They're climbing through fucking disgusting marshes, getting attacked by leeches and shit. All that nonsense, climbing, all like try to get ahead, do all this stuff. They got outsmarted. Now they're behind. Now their bridges are burned. And guess what Criston Cole has to say for it? I'm the best knight in all of Westeros, mate. I'm the best fucking knight in all of fucking Westeros, mate. I know what my task is. I'm not meant to survive this. None of us are. We're all meant to fucking die here. And as a result, I know what I'm meant to do. I'm going in. I'm going to make it such an end. We're going to postpone all the fucking River Lords and the Northerners. And it's not going to be fucking nothing but us. And we're going to die, Sir Gawain. I know you offered me some freedom. I know you offered me to serve in your house. I've been a servant my whole life, and I didn't want to serve in your fucking house. I'm meant to die, mate. I'm out here to fucking die. And there will be songs sung of it. And those songs will reach Queen Alicent, the woman whose pussy I ate, because I love her. Because Queen Rhaenyra, the dragon bitch, she wouldn't run away with me. She wouldn't run away and sell oranges with me, mate. She's a fucking cow because of that. And I didn't want to be some fucking pissant fucking bitch ass to a fucking queen. So instead I became one. And now I will die for her. And as a result, there will be songs, mate. And those songs will reach her ears. And she will know of the final stand of Sir Criston Cole, the greatest knight in all of Westeros. Yeah, that was his whole little thing there. So yeah. More to come, I guess, on that. We also have this other plot line with Ormond Hightower and Darren, his ward, and he makes money out of Darren's face and stuff, and he's, educating, and he gives us this great story about the what's her face, Miss Martell, the what is it, the Toad of Dorne or some shit. It's a good story, and it's from the book, obviously, and it's a major part of Aegon the Conqueror's quest. When he came to Westeros initially, part of his goal wasn't just to unite the Seven Kingdoms; it was to unite all kingdoms. And now we know we have all these other places right across the sea. We have Bravos and Dorne and all these free nations or free realms, free kingdoms that are not part of Westeros in the Seven Kingdoms because they would not allow themselves to be ruled, and they had all these crazy tactics and ways of outsmarting and preventing themselves from, essentially being conquered. So Interesting stuff there. But Ormond is also orchestrating this whole thing where gold cloaks are getting murdered and brutally murdered and having their intestines and entrails all ripped out and all their bowels exposed. And, that's not sitting too well with Damon, obviously. It creates a little bit of tension with him and Rhaenyra uh, as well. And Damon is, he's not happy. He's not happy that this is happening. But his men also aren't happy, right? He gives a speech to try to win him over, and it seems to work. But let's be honest, it's not working. If you're not getting paid, you're hungry, you're risking your life for the queen and all this shit, and all this crazy shit's happening. You could be persuaded to turn against. They do this torture scene, where Damon like rips some guy's eye out, and ultimately they kill him. But he does reveal that Ormond is passing out this money with the actual king, the heir now, Darren Targaryen, who is meant to be now the king essentially. And so Damon then ends up finding all his Knights Guard or Kingsguard dead. They're all dead in a very The Last Supper kind of layout there. So Damon is going to go off. But we have some other interesting stuff that happened in this episode with Rhaenyra and Damon, where Damon again reiterates that, like, people, you don't need to win over the small folk. You don't need the people. Like, you're looking for validation in the wrong places. Rhaenyra is where he's coming from. And that part of that is like, we're gods. Like, we have dragons. This is ours. We have this shit, okay? Like, we don't need to convince anybody. We don't need to prove anything to anybody. You are the queen. Like, and Rhaenyra feels a little differently, obviously. And also we have cats running through the whole thing now. The whole castle to fucking catch all the rats. But yeah, Damon's still trying to convince Rhaenyra, like, you don't need to do all this shit. Like, come on now. We are Targaryens, and Rhaenyra is not super receptive to it, and she does turn a little bit to the Faith, who, by the way, again, won't accept her because, number one, she's a woman, and number two, the High Towers and the Faith got this long history. And yeah, so we have that stuff. We also have Vhagar, who is, causing all sorts of damage, yet nobody's fucking seen him. Nobody knows where the fuck Rhaegar is, but, Vhagar. Nobody knows where the fuck Vhagar is, but we know he's out. We know she's burning up fields and fucking killing sheep and doing all this shit, but nobody's seen the biggest dragon in all of Westeros somehow. But Sir Adam of Hole and Baela are out looking. He might have been shooting a shot with her, like he's technically her uncle, like half uncle or some shit. But they're Targaryen, so maybe he was shooting a shot, and maybe he was just trying to, like, help her out. But she, she's concerned because she feels like responsible for Jace's death a little bit, because she wanted to go out there the same as he did and prove themselves and do all this shit. And now she thinks the queen hates her, and so she hasn't been resting and all this shit. But I don't really get any of that from Rhaenyra, to be honest. So I think that covers most of what happened in this episode. I think it was a fine episode. Like, I don't think it was the best episode ever. They're still just kind of building, and there are things that happen still, obviously, in these episodes, and sometimes they're crazy things, and sometimes they're, like, interesting, and sometimes it's just kind of chugging along a little bit. But it's still building, and I think when we hit our crescendo, our climax, the payoff will be huge, and I think that's going to be rewarding for the viewers. But I've been enjoying House of the Dragon. Like, I remember when the first season came out, there was a lot of people that were just like, whatever. Like, it's messy. It's an insult to the books. It's an insult to George R. R. Martin and blah blah blah. Because people like to complain, and I get it. I complain too, but I've enjoyed it. I think it's been decent. So I will continue to enjoy it and continue to talk about it. Cher and I will be here on Thursday this week. We're going to talk about a lot of nerd news. Doomsday trailer dropped. Doomsday tickets went on sale. So we'll be seeing that in December. And there's a bunch of other news, a bunch of things. Andy Serkis talking about representation in Middle Earth and people not happy with his comments. Kevin Feige did a whole interview about things in the MCU. How he feels like he's failed when it comes to Blade. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about him discussing Adam Driver turning Marvel down many times. He talked about a whole bunch of other things. So we'll talk about what Kevin Feige had to say. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Paramount and Warner Brothers. Probably not. That's probably a more appropriate topic for whenever we or I talk about Supergirl. I'm not sure if Cher's actually going to see it or not, but we got to talk about. I got to talk about Supergirl and talk about what the results of that box office could mean. On top of some other things. So there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of other news going on as well. The Doomsday trailer, Doomsday tickets, woohoo. And then I think he's been watching Spider Noir. So we'll probably end up talking about that as well. So lots going on. I'm excited. Life's been crazy. I've been busy a lot, busy. That's why I've been doing like just these short little ones, which I enjoy, and I wish I could do longer ones, and I wish I could have a little bit more time to do this. It's a little easier when there's like a set schedule. When there's not, it's like I could always find something else to do. Unfortunately, because I have a lot to do. A lot of times, like I'll record this and then I'll just boot up my computer and do like work. My second job that I have, like usually I work like once a week there, but there's been a lot of like absences recently, so I've been working a lot more, and so it's I'll go weeks without a single day off, which makes me tired, but it's got to be done. Sometimes it's got to be done. I don't, yeah. And then traveling for work sometimes, not very often, but like, this past week I traveled for work. It was like I worked like 12 days in a row, traveled for work, worked, another like 4 or 5 days before I got a day off. And then now it's going to be another 2 weeks before I have a day off, maybe a little more. Hey, it's fine. Yeah, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while till I get another day off. So, it's fun. We love work, guys. It's fun. But yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'm done talking. I rambled on for the last minute and a half of this. So, we'll see you Thursday. Much love. Like, comment, rate, review, subscribe. Click all the buttons, do all the things. And we'll see you next time. Share your thoughts on House of the Dragon. Bye, friends.